No more blindly throwing our money at Hasbro. We're going to use mad data and science to decide if we should pre-order Dominaria Remastered. And if so, at what price? I am pumped for this one. In today's video, I'm going to tell you a story, and I want you to start the story by thinking back to a time when a young person went down to their Magic the Gathering local game store and they were ready to pick up their pre-order. They knew they were going to get their hands on the product. Their store was guaranteed to have it in stock form. They were going to crack that product, play limited with that product with their friends, and they were going to make use of it right away and have an amazing experience. And when they came back next week, a week, and a week later, that product was going to be on the shelf at the same price. Well, that world currently does not exist. And Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast have all but stated that we should only engage in Magic the Gathering sets and products that interest us. So as they change the game, it's up to us to be smarter enthusiasts and consumers, and I have made it my life's mission on this channel to use data and numbers to help us make these decisions. So today we will decide if we should pre-order Dominaria Remastered, and if so, at what price. And to do that, we are going to need lots and lots of data. What I have here is every single sold listing for Dominaria Remastered sealed product on TCG Player. That's right, every box that is flowed pre-sale through TCG Player is included in these data sets. And as we decide if we should pre-order a product, we have to start looking at the numbers. We can no longer just think with our emotions. There's not enough time to gain the emotional attachments to these sets. We have to take a look at the data. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm actually going to tell you how you can get your hands every month on all of this raw data that I'm collecting. But we want to look right now about how the community feels so far about this product. Because when we go to pre-order, whether it's about value, whether it's about a fun time, we require a community for all of that to be a positive experience. So it looks like the community feels pretty good about Dominaria Remastered. If we want to break down kind of how they feel good, we have right here the breakdown of the total boxes sold. And remember, we're missing set boxes, we're missing bundles, we're missing Jumpstart. We have two SKUs here. We have draft boxes and we got collector boxes. And it looks like the community is in love with the draft box. To compare this to other complete data, this is complete sales data from the Brothers War, we saw set boxes taking an overwhelming majority of the total boxes sold, and draft boxes only making up 12%. And with a standard set, I expect to see something like this, plus, a little variance for draft boxes probably not doing great on an online format. We see the community almost completely replacing the love for set boxes with all draft boxes. That's right, we see draft boxes taking a big lead here, and this answers a great question. I asked the question, and the community's asked the question, will people take to the draft boxes with the idea that you can't pull the retro frame foils out of that box? And it looks like the community is all in on the play experience, or all in on shelving it for the future play experience and possible future value of that play experience, whatever they might be after. So when we look to pre-order the draft box, that's kind of a positive. And when we flip to the other side of the scale for the collector box, we know, hey, collector boxes, again, with only two SKUs, seeing a slight uptick, but the community's staying pretty well the same on collector boxes. It's always a 33 to 36 to 37% of the community looking to buy collector boxes, and that's no exception here. The big mystery with collector boxes is, are they going to print them into the ground or are they not? And this is where we kind of got to do a little speculation. We're going to make that, when we make our decision, we'll have to include that speculation. But it's important to note from Wizards of the Coast perspective, like, where are they making their money on these pre-orders? And it looks like, 55% on draft boxes and collector boxes, about 45%. So we see a big swing there. So we know the draft box is something the community is taking to. They're loving, but Wizards maybe isn't making as much money on the draft box. And if they're not making as much money on the draft box, we could see possible second printing, third printing releases to distro to the community at a cheaper price. Distro starting to, maybe fire sale this a bit to the stores. So we want to be leery of that. But collector boxes, man, they're making a bunch of money on those collector boxes, especially in pre-sale. Are they going to print another one? Are they going to hold steady and just kind of keep that print run the same? We're going to have to speculate a little bit there. But these numbers come out to something interesting. I grabbed previous sales data from the Brothers War up to this point. Now, at this point, at the time we're recording this video, we're 17 days from pre-release. So as of this point, the pre-sold total for Dominaria Remastered is about $280,500. And the Brothers War at this point, 17 days from release, was at $265. Now, I consider the Brothers War a pretty good set. The community's taken to it well. I like having it on my shelf. I like opening it. So with that being said, this is a positive. The rest of the community is feeling very similar about Dominaria Remastered as they did about the Brothers War. But this is where we have to speculate a bit, and it's all about that collector box. The speculation is if there's one print or even only 2 print runs of that collector boxes might be a great pre-order right now if you can get them at the right price. And if we take a look here, the average price of a collector box is $295. However, $294 if you order by the single box, not by the case. However, we see pre-sales are going all the way down to about $284. So this is not a bad price if there's one print run, but I'm still looking. If I'm going to pre-order, I think this is too high and I want cheaper. Moving on to the draft box. Draft box's average price is about $200, but they're all the way down, selling at about $182, and we're seeing the community and stores get a lot of these draft boxes and want to scoop them up. So with this data, we're going to be smarter consumers. We know how the community is taking to the product. We know kind of what the product's selling for, how much of it's selling, how much does it compare to other successful Magic the Gathering sets. And I'm hesitant. And the reason I'm hesitant is that unknown with the collector box print run. And now I'm going to speculate a little bit because this is kind of the decision we have to make. I believe that draft boxes at the right price are a decent buy. And I think 180 is a little bit high, 180, 182. And if we take a look at the draft box, we can get one for 181, 182 right here. But on MinMaxGames, I'm actually able to, and I'll put the link to this in the video description, we can get a draft box for 163. And even, whether it's MinMaxGame, whether it's your local game store, whatever it is, I think 163 is a fantastic price if you're going to pre-order. Now remember, you might end up paying a premium for having the product right when it comes out. That excitement, that ability to open the packs, play limited with your friends. I am a fan of pre-ordering at this price, whether from here or from your local game store, whatever it is. But collector boxes have me a bit sketched out. If there's one print run of collector boxes and we don't get these things printed to the moon, I actually like pre-ordering collector boxes around the $285 to $280 mark. I think that's a great place to be. I think you can chase those retro foils, even though they're going to appear slightly more often. It's going to be in a more premium product, so you might be safe. The danger is if Hasbro has 2-3 waves of collector boxes, you're not looking super hot. So I encourage you to get out there and pre-order these things cheaper. And because you're here, if you're going to pre-order the collector box, you can get it at $275 from MinMax. Or again, if you go to your local store, see if they'll price match. See what they're doing out there, because this might be a decent price. And while I'm hesitant at this price, I'm feeling good looking at the rest of the data. Now, I mentioned this data, and I'm going to continue to track this because there is a tipping point. As more stores get their pre-sale allocations and put this information out there, these prices are going to take a massive shift, and that will make me worry. if we get to the point where draft boxes have dropped super low and collector boxes have gone under that 270, 265, I'm actually not looking to pre-order. I'm looking to kind of ride that wave, and I'm willing to, if they go back up to 270, 275, pay the $5 to $10 more per box for the safety, knowing that there wasn't kind of a bottom that fell out of this set. But looking at that data that I compiled here, the set looks like it's pre-selling in a healthy manner. The community looks like they're all in and they're loving this draft box, and they're willing to spend on the collector product. Now, I mentioned earlier that you can get your hands on this data, and starting in July, I will be providing all of the data that I will be tracking for every Magic the Gathering set to the patrons of Hometown TCG. That's right. You can visit patreon.com/HometownTCG. I have to go up there and update the benefits and everything, but I will be providing these spreadsheets updated monthly to those patrons. So you can use the data that we are gathering from TCG Player and be a smarter consumer. If Wizards is going to throw this stuff in our face and try to make things difficult, we're going to level up and use it against them, and we are going to get more for our dollar. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, and if this content is interesting to you, make sure you share this with a friend. That's the biggest thing that I want. I can't wait to continue to grow. I love being in this space. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, my name is Josh, and I hope that you feel like that young person did going down to their local game store the next time you pre-order. I want all good feelings, and if we use that data, we can get there. We'll see you around.